Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. And welcome to today's video, Your Questions Answered, personal readings for you. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted their questions this week. I'm really looking forward to connecting with your energy and sharing the guidance Spirit has for you. If I am reading for you today, you'll find your timestamp in the description box below, so you can jump straight to your message whenever it suits you. And if you would like to be featured in next week's video, the link to submit your question is also in the description box below as well. And remember, the more context and detail you include, the more meaningful and in-depth your reading will be. This is now a regular weekly slot, and I'm really excited to continue offering these deeper, more personal readings with you every Wednesday. If you do enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps to support the channel and keep our energy flowing here at the Urban Seer community. But let's dive in and see what Spirit has to share for you today. Love and light. Welcome, hello 1257, and thank you for your question, which was a little different and a little unusual. You asked messages from a deck that I feel called to, which got me thinking about which deck to use today for you, and then in turn for the rest of everyone else who submitted a question. And I was drawn to Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic deck, which is a beautiful, modern, quirky deck. So let's shuffle the cards, and obviously there's no question that you've asked, so what I'm going to do is just go in completely blind and ask Spirit just to pull. Oh, there we go, there's the first one. Pull through 3 cards with 3 different messages and see what Spirit wants you to know today. There we go. And for everyone today as well, I wanted to pull a card from an oracle card from the Urban Crow deck. So thank you for inspiring today's decks, and I hope that these resonate for you. Okay, placement 1, the 4 of Cups. I'm going to turn all the cards over. We have the Moon. Oh, and then the Sun. How interesting. The Sun and the Moon, the light and the dark, day and night. Polar opposites, 2 major arcanas. I'll leave that bonus oracle card actually right into the end. Let's start off with the 4 of Cups though. Hello, which is the 4 of Cups. Now this can be resonating for you or someone close to you in your situation. The 4 of Cups can be a situation where we feel disappointed, rejected, dejected in some way, down on ourselves. Something hasn't worked out how we had hoped, something hasn't worked out, panned out how we had planned in a way. It can be in connection, often in a relationship, because we've got these 2 hands here as well, representing, you know, your energy and someone else's energy. So someone close to you may be feeling these disappointment, rejection, or it could be you. Hello, okay? Now, always with the 4 of Cups comes the message that even though there is this loss, there is this disappointment, and we can be in a very emotionally almost stuck place, really, where we feel quite down on ourselves. We have retreated, we are licking our wounds, we put up our walls, all that kind of energy. Yeah, it could be you in a situation if it isn't a person. Okay, take what resonates with whatever's going on for you. Now with the 4 of Cups though comes the message that there is indeed a 4th cup that has not revealed itself yet, which is really the kind of next chapter to this story. It isn't over yet. The 4th cup represents a different way of doing this, new information, some kind of resolution that has yet to be seen, that has yet to be uncovered. So if a certain way didn't work out, then there's a different path to take. Okay? And what the message is as well, that really what's the warning maybe is not to get stuck in those low feelings. Like, feel the pain, feel the disappointment, but don't dwell. Is that because the Four of Cups does have a tendency to have a dwelling energy of, once we get down on ourselves, and then it's hard sometimes to pull ourselves up and out of that, shake it off and look around you and say, okay, this I don't want this to be over, I don't want this to end. Let's get creative and find a different way of doing this and a different way of making this work. Because then we move on to these amazing two major arcanas of the moon and the sun. I almost feel like it's the light after the dark. The moon is about where you're at kind of now, of how to find yourself out of this disappointment, loss, this darker place that you may find yourself in, where our insecurities are high, the wolves are kind of snapping at our ankles, things may even be keeping you up at night, sleep may not be great at this time. And the moon says, at this time you have to dig deep and go within and listen to your intuition. You are blind to maybe how this fourth cup might reveal itself, but what you can do at this point is know that there is a fourth cup on its way. That makes sense. Okay, we don't know what it looks like, we don't know how it will manifest, but we can trust that it is on its way, and we just need to keep making steps in that direction, down this path, blindfolded really, in a way, and just kind of trust the process. Yeah, let go, let God. Because then the beautiful sun, this gorgeous sun here, I love this card. It's like this lemon slice of beautiful bright lemon slice bursting out throughout the darkness, throughout the clouds. And this feels like a victory, this feels like a success. You emerge here on the other side of it happy, joyful, kind of surprised, I feel like, inside as well, like almost like, wow, I really didn't think this was going to happen. I'd almost given up. Thank God I didn't give up. It was kind of touch and go there, but I trusted myself, I kept going, I pulled myself out of that slump and continued to go for it, and now we are reaping the benefits. We are in a victorious, happy place. Let's see what your oracle card says. Cashin. We see here, so this crow that has planted these seeds deep in the earth here. The meaning behind this card in the oracle book is actually about keeping things safe, keeping ideas, keeping our wishes and our dreams protected in the earth, but also being mindful not to hide them in a way, bury them and leave them there and be scared to, in a way, bring them out and show them the world, or go for it. Go for the dream, and waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions to go for these dreams. Okay, and then those perfect conditions never really arrive, and these dreams and these wishes never get to see the light of day. So I feel like this ties into about, despite setbacks, despite disappointments, and that's got you worried and got you and has made you contract and retreat into yourself, maybe tempted to go, oh, this dream is never going to happen, so I'm just going to leave them hidden and buried in the earth, in kind of the corner of my mind, and keep them inside myself and never let them see the light of day. When really this sun card is saying, don't give up, go for it. this is the flowers and the blossoms and the victory of cashing in on your dreams and hopes and taking that risk, cashing in on the risk, really. So that's also an additional message just with this oracle card for you. Hello, about not giving up on your dreams, not waiting for the perfect conditions, but to keep trying, to keep pushing, and the overall, tying in with that overall message about not giving up despite setbacks doesn't mean that the universe is trying to tell you that this isn't meant for you. Not this time, okay? So I hope that resonated for you. Hello, if it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know how it resonated in the comments, and I'll catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hi Chanley, my love. Welcome to your reading and thank you for your detailed question. Let's get into it. I'm going to start shuffling the cards. So I know this is a love reading, a love connection, and you're wondering if you should keep holding on to this relationship, okay? Their energy has been stagnant, and I understand you say you're a fire sign. I think you're a Leo fire sign, and you want to see movement, okay? Which is completely understandable. So you want some guidance on how you should proceed with this connection going forward. Let's have a look. Spirit, please bring through some guidance for Chanley regarding this love connection. So, guidance for you. Where's he at? What do we see with him? And let's take a glimpse into the future. And I am pulling an oracle card again for everyone. So this time I'm using the wonderful Urban Crow oracle deck. So, guidance for you, Chanley, in this. Major Arcana, Strength. So, interestingly, and fire sign, this is you, yeah? I believe you're a Leo, with this Leo, the lion turning up, but all this fire, orange energy in this card as well is representing, I feel like almost like the essence of you. And I feel like it's like you need to stay true to yourself and your nature. And maybe this connection, you know, is not aligning with that. Does it bring you closer to this, you know, this proud lioness that you are, that is full of energy, full of power, full of strength? And I also feel, because there is, this looks to be almost like a lion cub here. And I feel like that you are maturer in spirit, in soul, than this love interest, okay? So there will always be that dynamic of that you will be the one who kind of like the decision maker, the person who kind of sets the tone and is almost energetically, spiritually ahead of this person's energy in your journey, okay? You've done a lot of work on yourself, you've been through a lot of experiences and had a lot of transitions and personal growth, which I always feel like from you, Chanley, that there's a lot of cycles that you've been through, and you've really, I know you're always pushing the envelope, sometimes even too hard, about personal growth. And I feel like this person is not at that place in their journey. There is this immaturity of spirit, and like you said, the kind of stagnation in their energy. So they're someone who maybe hesitates and holds back from personal growth. They're not some, you know, many of us lean into that and want to expand and grow and learn and change. And some people really, it terrifies them. It's something that is almost forced upon them through life experiences, if that makes sense. So there is some genuine love here and genuine feelings. Like if you look at this union, it's very bonded and it's very close, but there is some kind of imbalance in they're not a match for you. That's what I'm seeing really, Chandy. This is not like, you know, in the expression you've met your match, like someone who meets you in more energetically in an equal place. Someone who maybe might challenge you or bring something to the table for you. You've got a lot to offer them, but through almost no fault of their own or just where they're at on their journey, they can't match up to you, okay, and match up to your energy. Spirit, this is going to tell us more about where they're at. Two of Wands, interesting. Two, so there is that union still here. Wands is fire, actually, so passion, heart's desires, connection. They do feel this connection, so it isn't a lack of desire or a lack of, there is often a strong physical attraction here when we see Wands. The Two of Wands as well, interestingly, it's about looking to the future and having contemplation about that as well. So there is something going on for them that they are thinking about this union and what the future holds for this connection. So they are thinking on that. They are wondering what is going to happen and maybe planning in their own way how they see this working out. But that doesn't mean still that what they have to offer you is going to add to your life. I suppose that's what the question is. I feel like you bring a lot to the table for them, but not necessarily vice versa. And it doesn't seem ill will or any malice here. Their feelings are genuine. They have passion. They have heart's desires. They have an attraction here for you. But I know that you even said, just looking at your question, they have a lot of life things that they need to work on before he takes action. And I do feel like that he is buried under that, and because of that, doesn't have a great deal to offer this connection at this time in his life, even if he wanted to, if that makes sense, okay? What does the future hold though, Spirit? The Ten of Wands, lots of fire here. Well, strength is a major arcana, but I have to kind of see fire in that card. But we have Wands and we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is this, you are moving in the direction of the Ten of Wands is change for this connection, for sure. The Ten of Wands is when we can put the burden down, okay? This bird through these difficulties, okay, this is like through thunder and lightning, and this bird has flown and carried, I don't know if you can see that clearly, has carried these wands, all representing sort of here in branches, twigs, to build a nest maybe, or this, each wand represents kind of a challenge that you have been through together. And the Ten of Wands is when you make it through the thunder and lightning and you're able to finally put these wands down. So either way with this connection, if that means that you agree to just be friends and there is distance created in that, then we put this burden down and we accept it, we're able to leave it be, accept it for what it is and the blessings and journey that we've experienced so far together, and move on. Comes the Ace, the new cycle. Or this love interest is able to level up more and step up and offer, move past these, like you say, these things that they need to work on, okay? They're able to make some progress with that, where they can be in a place to offer you more. So there will be a shift in this dynamic that is on its way, whatever. So you can take comfort in that. Maybe if you're feeling stuck and stagnant in this connection, there is an ending of how things are. Either way, let's have a look what the oracle card says. Self-interest. Couple of messages here. Could be that for them that they're in a place of focus on their self, and it's about self-interest, and that's why they are not able to offer you or anyone much in a connection at this time. And it's also, I think, about you looking after your own self-interest, channeling in this connection. Does this connection add to your life, or does it subtract? That's often a good question to ask ourselves, and tells us if we need to create distance with this connection, or if we can continue to sit with it and wait. But ask yourself, does it, and maybe now is the time to really act in your best self-interest at this point, channeling. Okay, so that was your reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, channeling, how it did resonate for you. And I'll catch up with you soon, my lovely. Take care. Hey Samreen, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. I have your updated question, so thank you. And you ask, we're looking at connection here, and what is the potential for a healed and more emotionally mature reconciliation, which is a lovely question to ask in the future between you and your ex, and your manifesting. I know you've been working hard on your manifestation, manifesting a better version of him. So let's look into this. I know obviously in our live session we had a kind of stuck energy that came through for him, burying himself in work as well, was something, being kind of materialistically minded. But let's dig into this deeper, okay, and focus on the potential of a healed and more emotionally mature reconciliation. So guidance on this, please. So what you need to focus on to achieve this. What's the likelihood? So let's go straight to that. What's the likelihood of this reconciliation? And then we'll have a peek into the future. I'm also pulling an oracle card again for everyone, and this time I'm using the lovely Urban Crow oracle deck. So we'll see what this brings through as well. Okay, first card. So what do you need to focus on to bring the outcome that you need, that you want? Interesting. 5 of Wands. This is a card of conflict. So I'm wondering if this can be internal or external conflict. Take what resonates. What's kind of comes through to me is internal conflicts that's still going on in you. So maybe this is something that needs to be further kind of worked on, to be resolved in order to, I know that you're manifesting, and often when we are manifesting as well, it's about working through stuff that comes up about our ideas about a situation that can be conflicting. Okay, so say if it was wealth that you were manifesting, it can be issues of, say, self-worth can come up. You know, being rich is for others, it's not for me. Money is scary. Money, you know, people with money are selfish. You know, all these this is just thrown out there as an example. So this just raises the question from Spirit, and what it brings through is that you're obviously manifesting a better version of your ex. So be honest with yourself about what internal conflicts that you have surrounding that. Some ideas about this connection, this relationship, and some blocks. Now, with a 5 as well, it actually says that these can be easily overcome. A 5 is the promise that this can pass. Sometimes it can feel very intense. If you look at this, represented here by these dogs having this kind of tug of war, and it has a lot of tension and intensity around that resistance that you may have inside of you about the connection and the blocks. But they can actually be easily overcome, maybe with some affirmations, some small mindset tweaks, just really being honest and open and transparent with yourself about what the blocks are, gives you a chance to really get to the heart of the matter. And I see almost with this card you being able to overcome them pretty easily, really, once we can just unearth them. So continue on that path. You may already be doing this and begin this, but with manifestation, it's about being consistent and persistent and not giving up. You know, there's often a lot of self-doubt that can come up when we're manifesting, can be a huge block, and it's about needing to every day show up and work on that in one way or the other. The second position was, so what's the potential for this reconciliation to be healed and more mature? Lovely. Champion of Cups, which is very similar to the King of Cups in a traditional deck, okay? So it does have the potential here, Samreen, to be emotionally fulfilling because it is cups. So this lovely kind of depth has come through with this card, this emotional depth and maturity being a big part of this because it's a champion, which is interesting that you asked that, an emotionally mature reconciliation. Here it is. The Champion of Cups is someone who has worked through lessons, has learned stuff, has lived a life, and has come out the other side with knowledge, with wisdom. So this is very hopeful card. This is very promising. This is a really nice energy to hold in mind when you are manifesting, I would say. The Champion of Cups as well, I feel like can represent specifically your ex coming towards you. There's someone who has empathy, who has sensitivity, who has emotional depth and maturity. So really kind of focus in on that. And then them showing up as this person. And this is Spirit saying, yes, it is possible. Here it is, manifesting as the Champion of Cups, him showing up as this Champion of Cups, someone who thinks before they speak, who speaks with sensitivity and empathy and understanding, which maybe has what was lacking. And when we saw in his energy that he was someone who was very kind of had a rigidness about him, is what I've seen in the past, and this is a sensitivity and a fluidity that's been missing. So maybe that's an area for you to really focus on, of him showing up as his best self. Then we take a glimpse into what the future holds. This lovely pot of flowers that is blossoming, so growth. 7 of Pentacles is progress, Samreen. Okay, so progress in this connection. We are watering these flowers. The 7 of Pentacles as well is about a period of assessment. So when things do progress between you, communication lines open up. They show up as their Champion of Cups self. And then we still continue the work in a way. The 7 of Pentacles is like this assessment period where we We leave behind what didn't work in this connection when you were together in the past, and we water what does work. So we water the flowers, not the weeds. That expression, I think that's right, but that plays it. If it's a new expression I've made up, then that also applies to this. Okay, so we water the flowers, not the weeds, in this relationship. So that's what comes next. That's what the future. But look at all this blossoming. Look at all this growth. This is good energy. Okay. Let's see what this final message. Oh, lovely. We have soar. We take flight. And this reminds me, you know how when in your previous reading in the live, there was a crow in the 9 of Pentacles card, which represented you and represented your something about your spirit, which we talked about, how you are a free spirit. This is such a lovely energy and feels so personal to you, Samreen, about this is who you are and this is your energy, and you getting to take flight in some way, and that remember that you're a free spirit, and to never dim your light in being that free spirit. And this is what this person fell in love with you for. And even though it may have caused complications because they are different in some ways, they almost sort of envy this in you, I think. But this is you getting to take flight. This is you getting to soar. This is spirit saying, continue to fly high and be that free spirit that you really are. Okay. So that was your reading, Samreen. I hope it resonated for you. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the reading. Let me know in the comments how this reading resonated for you. And I'll catch up with you soon, my love. Take care. Hey, Kristin. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So let's get into it. And this is a love connection that we're looking at. So I understand that you're still waiting for your ex to reach out and apologise, and we're wanting to know, what is he thinking about the lost connection? So let's start off with that. How are they feeling? What are they thinking about this lost connection? Then let's look at likely actions in the near future of them. And then I'm going to see if there's anything, what should you be focusing on to bring the outcome that you desire, Kristin, okay? What does Spirit want you to know? I'm also pulling everyone an oracle card from the Urban Crow deck. So let's bring that in. Okay, so how is your ex thinking and feeling about this? The Empress, Major Arcana. They still see you as the Empress, Kristin. This is interesting. And look at this, 2 otters here who are in this kind of loving energy, this couple. So they still see you as your person in essence, Kristin, okay? I'm going to actually pull a card as well to see what's blocking them. But there's a lot of energy still in this, okay? There's a lot of love still here that we see in this connection represented here. The Empress card is the divine feminine, so that's your energy, how they view you as their kind of ideal still, their person. So I don't know specifically what's gone down in who messed up, what's gone wrong, but they still see you almost like on a pedestal is the word, like, you know, the Empress energy is someone who people often look up to, and yeah, is the ideal, is their person, the one, all that kind of energy, which is interesting. So I'll look first what's their likely actions, because you know they can still think and feel like this, but obviously something is blocking them. Two of Pentacles. So I do see more communication coming through with this, because the Two of Pentacles is in a way what's ahead of you, what comes next. Their actions is ups and downs, but we see here this is the infinity sign, so there's a continuation of this connection. Okay, it hasn't been broken yet, even though it feels broken. Yeah. And we have this boat that is heading out into choppy waters, yeah? And this turtle, this sea turtle, who I see here, was like having to head out into choppy waters as well. So it's kind of emotionally scary, and maybe I feel maybe that's something I'm picking up from them as well, that this has sort of taken a turn and it's become emotionally scary, and there are ups and downs ahead for both of you in this connection, but there is a continuation of this connection. This isn't an ending. Now with the Two of Pentacles, in order to kind of navigate this and get through these ups and downs, we need to work pretty hard on staying centered and staying grounded. So this goes for you as well, Kristin. Don't lose yourself in the ocean, you know, in the washing machine of these waves. We must do what we can to stay grounded, to stay centered, to keep it together, whatever that means. If that's, you know, studying, with work, talking to friends who help keep you in touch with yourself, meditation, exercise, you know, whatever does it for you, Kristin. I am going to pull one more card about, you know, what's the kind of block between, say, moving. They see you as the Empress energy. We see the connection continuing, but we are in this waiting period. What's blocking the ex from already reaching out? Yeah. Eight of Wands. Well, it's not going to tell us why, but it is going to tell us that it will come through, and it will come through sort of fast and furious when it does. So it is kind of imminent with this Eight of Wands. Can you see how these geese are migrating? So it's movement. Wands is fire energy, action, movement, taking flight, kicking up the dust from this stagnation. So it's not telling us why. It could be because they maybe know that there is choppy waters ahead between you guys, and there's some hesitation just from that. There's some fear and natural resistance to kind of taking the lid off Pandora's box. But it's just saying here with this Eight of Wands, Spirit is saying, well, it's coming, so get ready. Yeah. Then this is a message for you that we looked at just for Spirit to touch on. What do you need to be aware of in the midst of all this? We've sort of touched on that you needed to stay grounded, but here we go. Ace of Wands, new beginning, fresh start, new opportunity. Be ready, get ready, more wands. Eight of Wands, there is an egg in a nest, which is interesting, which I think talks about when this does come through with the ups and downs, and with it coming through quite fast, Kristin, is be mindful that with the ace, because it's a new opportunity in this connection between you, and this is a fresh start in a way, but there's a fragility about it. Okay, this egg that is being held in this wand that we see, and you know, when an egg is in its nest, obviously before it's hatched and the whole process, it really does need nurturing, it needs protecting. So this could also be about yourself and your emotions, about if you've been hurt by this person, to protect your own energy, but also this kind of represents the connection to me, how it is, it's a fresh start, but to remember you know, it's kind of a fragile egg at this stage and we don't want to crack it, okay? So just be mindful, Spirit is saying to be mindful of that when you find yourself in this Ace of Wands space. Oh, lovely. And then we have gifts from the Oracle. I feel like this is your person again coming through. They may even bring a gift. But this is when things, this is just a nice touch of kind of happier times, I feel like, with gifts coming through. Maybe this as well, I feel like it's almost like memories of this connection that still stand and still valid, like the good things that happened, the good things that you collected over time together. So to remember that too, maybe it's got quite dark, maybe it's got quite negative with this distance, yeah, and it feels, and there is choppy water, so it feels kind of high pressured, high stress, and even with that kind of, it's a fragile egg, is also kind of stressful looking after that. And this gifts energy just feels like a more gentle kind of loving energy, really, to remind us why we're doing this. And for as long as you have this feeling, Kristin, then it's okay to kind of stick with this, the gifts. If you feel like there's still this magic in the connection, there's still this love, we're still building memories together, there's still love and magic in this connection. This connection still feels like a gift, then it's okay and it's worth hanging in and hanging on, okay? But when that goes away, maybe it's time to, that's a message to let go of that. But as things stand now, it says that this magic still stands in this connection despite the obstacles, despite the difficulties. Just like how they still see you as this empress, despite everything that's maybe gone on between you, you are still their empress, yeah? So that was your reading, Kristin. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Please let me know in the comments how it resonated as well, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Kristin Grace, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So I'm just going to start shuffling the cards, and I know that you're wanting to look at today that you're, at the moment, life is feeling stagnant, yeah? And I know that you're feeling quite low about ever being able to find love, giving up hope even. So let's ask Spirit what's going on around this for you, yeah? I'm going to ask, because I've discovered this new spread which I like, where we pull one card here about what you need to focus on to bring this love in that we want, yeah? Then we ask what Spirit is doing to bring this love in for you. So this is co-creation, yeah? We do our part and the universe does their part, so it's a two-way street. Oh, there we go. And then can we take a peek into the future of this, of what would be the outcome? I'm also pulling oracle cards for everyone. This, again, I did this last week. It was nice. This time I'm using the Urban Crow oracle deck. So let's pull a message for you from there as well. Okay. So what do you need to focus on to bring this through? we have the Champion of Wands, which is interesting. This is very similar to like a King of Wands in the traditional deck. We have this horse energy, which is about, it feels like horse energy is fast moving, it's powerful, it's the Wands energy is fire, yeah, so it's kicking up the dust and taking action. Also, if we see, we have a lucky horseshoe here as well. So luck is an element of this, luck being that kind of energy where, almost like a Wheel of Fortune energy, where serendipitous events fall into place. If say you meeting someone who is like a powerful love connection. But the Champion of Wands as well is also you being really quite direct and getting yourself out there as much as you can. The Champion of Wands is someone who leads, they don't follow. Okay, so they're a very, it's like a go-getter kind of energy. And maybe because you've had setbacks, because you've, things like you say, feel stagnant, are there ways that you can shake things up to challenge this, to get things moving again? I know that you said that you've kind of given up hope as well, which, you know, I totally understand and get, and how if we try and fail, that we can sink into that. So feel those feelings and let yourself rest and regroup. But then we need to take on this challenge, I feel like, and keep pushing and keep taking action. So how would that look? You know, is that, you know, basically in essence, it's a way we need to get ourselves out in the world, in people, in situations where we will cross paths with people. Be it, you know, dating apps can be one way to do it, but I know that they can be very challenging and not for everyone, because you have to be so relentless with that. So a nicer way sometimes, and maybe a more natural way, is just putting ourselves in, you know, say group situations, group activities. If it was like a yoga class, you know, an art class, whatever it could be, a volunteer group, you know. It sounds kind of silly or simple, but really these are the ways that we are putting ourselves, we're saying to the universe, I'm here, I'm out there, and I'm ready to meet new people, I'm ready to cross paths with people, saying yes to social invitations as well, because it just takes a chance meeting. And if we really deeply want this, it's a desire. It's a bit like if you think of it with a career or a job. Sometimes that feels something that we are more in control of, and because there's a path, almost like I need to get these qualifications, then I need to get a job here to get that experience, which will then lead to being able to get this position, blah blah blah, etc. But it's still about connections. There's still an element of luck, and it's still about just being consistent in effort and action, and can take time to get there. Okay, and really with a love connection, if we really put our mind to it and we really get focused and we keep doing all those things, then something will break through, something will give, we will cross paths with someone where that sparks a connection. It's kind of inevitable if we do that, really, and are obviously open to it emotionally as well. So I hope that resonates. This is what the universe is doing on your behalf to make this happen. How amazing. They've already chosen your lover, your connection, Kristin, okay? The lovers, beautiful, beautiful. The pearl in the oyster shell. And a pearl is created from grit, in essence, from dirt, from sand, from harshness. In a way, this beautiful pearl is created. So this is going to be a special connection. This is a powerful connection. This is destined. The lover, your person, is already chosen, is already out there, is already on their way to you. So believe that as well. If you are manifesting as well, Kristin, if you do that, lean into that more. Be alongside, taking the action, signing up to the groups, getting out there in the world, putting yourselves in places to catch the wind of this love connection, okay? We can also work on our manifestations daily as well, journaling, meditating, visualization, and have faith that the universe has this beautiful connection here. I'm so glad to see that card for you, Kristin. So I hope that gives you hope. It gives me hope. It gives me clarity and hope. All that magic, that pink, that glitter, that pink, that loving connection. Wonderful. A glimpse into the future, the Elder of Cups, which is a meaningful connection, a mature connection. The Elder of Cups is emotional fulfillment. Look, we have 2 cups here as well. This is the connection that you have wanted, you know, with depth, with sensitivity, with maturity as well, I feel like as well. So it's balanced here. This is also a lovely energy. Cups, all about romance, love, connection, the promise of this. The universe is really doubling down and giving you a strong message that this will happen for you, Kristin Grace, okay? There is no way around this. This is like a very clear message with both these cards. To see the Lovers and the Elder of Cups in this reading is a promise that it's on its way to you. And it's also a lovely connection, you know, like I say, that has a lot of depth to it and has a lot of maturity to it. I feel like there's a real sense of relief in this connection. I think it'll be a relief for you to find yourself in this kind of union where you don't have to fight and struggle, but you have this kind of deep understanding. Final oracle card, a release, the release of the struggle. That's what this is. We can leave some kind of struggle that you have been battling maybe for a long time, that has really got you down as well, made you lost hope, brought in this kind of stagnant energy. It's a bit like the end of an era, I see, with this, because it's a little bit like the death card, the death tarot card, because this crow here has passed, and this is then moving on to the next life, the next chapter, and the crows here have come to honor that. So maybe you're in the end process of this era as well, Kristin Grace, so maybe take stock of kind of what you've learned during this, even though it's been challenging, you know, even though it's been difficult. Think maybe what you can take from this and what you've learned from this, and maybe even why this period needed to happen for you to be able to move into this loving connection that is on its way to you. But yeah, the release of struggle. So what a beautiful reading. I hope that resonated for you, Kristin. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. Leave any comments down below how it did, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Arpita, my love, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. Let's get into it. So I know this is love life that you're wanting to look at. You're currently single and you'd like to know what's going to happen next, okay? Any promising long-term partners come in, or a chance of meeting someone. And you're only interested in long-term relationships, absolutely. So I'm going to do a similar reading to what I've done for others here, which I find is really useful in these situations. It's what you need to focus on to bring this through. The second part of the reading is what the universe is doing to help bring this through for you as well. So this kind of co-creation energy. You do your part, the universe is doing their part, and then we look a peek into the future as well to see what that brings, okay? So, Arpita, what do you need to focus on to bring this love in? What is the universe doing to bring this love in for Arpita? And what does the future hold? I'm also pulling oracle cards again because I'm feeling this oracle vibe. This time I have the Urban Crow deck. So a message for you for this as well from there. Okay, so first placement, what do you need to do to bring this connection in? Six of Cups. Be gentle with yourself is the first message of this Six of Cups. It's a very nostalgic card, okay? This can be dealing with some sadness, some hurt from the past that still needs to be resolved within you, Arpita. It can be to do with a past connection. Are there still, checking with yourself, are there still energetic ties to that? Can we actively look into that and look to release some of that energy? It could be, tell you what resonates with this as well, even a past connection coming back round. I don't know if you're open to that, okay? So it can, a couple of messages there, either some pain that needs to be released to open the way for someone new. If we're holding on to maybe a negative connection in the past that is blocking us from moving forward, or it can be that there's still a valid connection from the past and someone coming back through and the possibility of reconciliation. So tell you what resonates with that. This is a family here, yeah, who is sleeping contently, at peace. This is kind of the goal. This is what we want as well. So hold that in mind about what you are manifesting. If you do practice manifestation, stay strong on that and get really clear about what energy you are putting out there into the universe and who and what you are pulling in. So what would an ideal relationship feel like to you? Would it feel like this? Would you like a family? It's about that feeling as well, being in a union that is peaceful, yeah, that is content. It has that kind of energy. Is that what you want? So lean into that, put that out to the universe, get really specific about what you want, Arpita. Write this down if you haven't already. Visualize this, meditate on this feeling. How would it, if you imagine being with this love, what would that make you feel like? Bring it up within yourself and try to stay in that feeling as much as you can throughout the day, but at least hold that in that period of meditation. But there's something about the past going on as well. This is advice about what you can do. There's something from the past that is lingering there, that has some part of the story with this either blocking you or a connection where there's unfinished business there. Tell you what resonates. What is the universe doing to bring this love through to you? The Hermit, Major Arcana. The Hermit card is, okay, so the Hermit card is about when we're in a period of reflection, and it can feel lonely and it can feel like maybe we don't know why we're being isolated. It may feel like that you've had this period of alone time and it's, why am I in this isolation? Why am I on my own? But there's something important insight to be gained from this period, okay? It's not meaningless, Arpita. It's important insight that needs to be gained before the next connection comes through, okay? So this is trust in divine timing. There is so much magic here. The universe is here for you, is with you, even in your period of isolation, so you aren't alone. And maybe it's about enjoying your own company as well, because we're never going to be in a, it's not a good place to need to be in a connection, okay? Like, we need to be able to, the more comfortable and happy that we can get with our own company, our own time, enjoying our own time and enjoying our own company, the kind of stronger position that we will be in for when our partner, the opportunity to be with someone comes through, because it's like someone adding to your life, not trying to fill a void, okay? It's just like an extra bonus kind of energy, but it's not this deep need. But tell you what resonates with what that insight is that you are gaining. Is it about getting to know yourself on a deeper level? Is it about getting clear about what you really want, who you really want? Is there someone from the past that you are hiding in some way, maybe from something? Because I see this wing that is covering this bird's face, so it's like they're kind of maybe not being completely honest about what you want, what you need, or getting clear about what that is. That's what the universe wants you to be doing now. Let's see what the future brings, okay? Oh, there we go. 4 of Wands. And then this is the card of, this is the relationship, okay? The 4 of Wands is a card of commitment. It's a card of stability. We have this living together situation. We have all these flowers blossoming, blooming. It's a significant milestone, okay? So maybe it's a relationship that really, this one is really kind of going to last the distance. It has a stability about it that maybe you've never felt, okay? In this connection, it's giving very, you know, the house, the kids, the job, the kind of that, you know, almost like a traditional, stable life, or whatever that means to you, okay? But it looks very picturesque, it looks very dreamy. And the 4 of Wands, if we think of 4, so that's like a solid foundation, yeah? The 4 is a wonderful number to see in a relationship because it's stability. And this relationship is a strong foundation, but I do see the promise of a connection, and this life is still possible for you, Arpita, and it is on its way to you. So trust that. Trust that. I really do think this is the kind of energy that you want as well. It feels like maybe you're done with the drama. You're almost done with like the really, you know, that kind of love that like turns you upside, like, you know, gets your heart racing and is kind of stressful. Yeah, I almost feel like you just want some calmness, you just want stability, you just want consistency, and to be able to build a life together. You don't want this heart racing, all consuming, like crazy love. Yeah, like maybe you've done that, and we just want stability, we want calmness, we want this like lovely contentment here. And that is on its way to you. But what's happening now is not a waste of time, okay? This time can be used. This time is meaningful. We aren't on hold until this comes. Do look into what that past energy is. Continue to do the work of the Hermit, which is looking within, which is gaining insight. Let's have a look what this final card says. Upheaval. We have this message of upheaval. So something maybe this is for the past, actually. This is what first came through. Can you see how the roots were ripped out here of this nest, of this home? So maybe you did experience this or got close to this, and it was ripped out of its roots and it was upturned, and that can be that past pain. I feel like that's that this is the past. And what Spirit is saying really with this card is saying, yes, that was extremely painful, that happened, but it doesn't mean that it can't, that this beautiful energy and this stability and this connection and this life is still out there and is still possible and is still available to you. So don't let this incident, this energy, which is not good, continue to still have its grip on you and its hold on you, Arpita, okay? Feels connected again to this past pain, this past person. Tell you what resonates, it could even be childhood stuff, not even, you know, it could be within your own family even, not necessarily a love connection for you. Again, tell you what resonates with that. So this doesn't anyway have to, don't let that keep informing this. That was your reading, Arpita. I hope it resonated. Please do give me a thumbs up if it did. Let me know in the comments how it resonated for you, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Kashish, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. I did get 2 questions from you, so obviously this is only like a one reading per person. So let me know if you do want your second question to be filmed for next week's video, but let's get into it. So I'll go with your first question, which was that you wanted to know about your career. Okay, so I don't do yes no questions, but we can certainly look at the energy around this. Okay, I know you're hoping to apply for a scholarship, and it's a whole process, etc. But it would inform a move for you if you did get this scholarship. Okay, so let's have a look what comes through for you. So what I've been doing for a lot of people as well as this certain spread, which is in order to bring this, the outcome that you want through, is first card is what can you do, guidance for you to bring this through. Then it's telling us what spirit, oh there we go, jumping out, what spirit is doing on your behalf. So this is a co-creation. Okay, you do your part, the universe does their part, and then what will then we take a peek into the future of if we can do those things, what does the future bring? I'm also pulling an oracle card for everyone, so we'll get into that, which is, I'm using the Urban Crow oracle. Okay, so what's your part? What do you need to do, Kashish, to make this happen? What do you need to focus on? Justice, Major Arcana. Interesting. So justice is all about a fair and just outcome, okay, in this situation. And I think it's about you obviously doing everything that you can in a practical way to show up, not taking any shortcuts. Like, this is a big endeavor to take on. It's a process, a full-on process is what we know. And justice as well, if we think about the scales of justice, literally, and about needing to stay balanced. So there is something, because this is such a big deal, because this is so important to you, it's come through as a major arcana to recognize as that as well for you, Kashish. The best thing that you need, that you can do, and to kind of get the best outcome that you want from this, is about staying balanced and not allowing this situation to fully kind of overwhelm you and overtake you, if that makes sense. Okay, we need to stay balanced. So in a way, like, you need to also stay open to potential other paths. We need to be, the justice card as well is about, in a way, it has more of a head over heart energy. We need to be very strategic about how we navigate this. We need to use our head, not our heart. So not be emotionally driven in this. Okay, so it's not about leading with our heart, it's about leading with our heads, and about staying calm, staying balanced, staying steady, taking it just one step at a time. It's a bit like when we think, if we're in justice, if we're in a kind of court of law almost, if you were going, you know, there's no, however much, whatever outcome that you want, there's no point going into a court of law with being really emotional and just kind of, you know, pitching your case that, well, I just really want this. You know, we need to give good reasons. We need to back this up with evidence. We need to, you know, have the receipts, have the paperwork, if that makes sense. Yeah, that kind of energy. So be strategic, use your head. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Head over heart, head over heart. That's what you need to do, okay? Now, what is the universe doing to make this happen for you? The devil energy, another major arcana. Okay, so there's big energy surrounding this, Kashish, okay, which I feel like is promising. It's good. It says there's a lot of potential in a way of this paying off. Okay, now the devil energy, interestingly, is trying to, so the universe is trying to break a cycle here for you, is trying to free you of something. So what could that be? Because the devil energy is about habits that don't serve us. It's about, it can be about addictions, but addictions to behaviors even, that something toxic. So toxic situations, toxic behaviors, things that this feels like a block in this happening for you. So is it the way that you approach something? Do you have a tendency, it could be anything, okay? It's like that you could be a workaholic in this situation, pushing too hard. It could be that you struggle to be consistent. If things don't, if you don't see immediate results, do you give up? It could be that there are people who don't have your best interests at heart around you as well, and that they may be trying to block you. It could be a million and one things, so you'll have to take what resonates with this of personally what's going on for you with this devil energy around situations like this, okay? Around your career, around studies. It might take some reflection on your part as well about breaking cycles and being wary of toxic behaviors, maybe even getting too emotional about it. It could be, that could be a struggle, and needing to do this head energy and not heart. But take what resonates with that. But the spirit is working overtime, also trying to break this cycle for you. I'm also drawn to here, can you see how we've got these eyes? And the evil eye is about protecting this dream, Kashish, as well. So don't share it with people who may not have the best interests at heart when it comes to this for you, okay? So maybe keep this to yourself when it comes to certain people, okay? Be wary of who you share your dreams with the evil eye. If you share your dreams too soon, too early with the wrong people, it opens it up to them being able to kind of put their bad energy, cast their evil eye in a way over your dream and put blocks and obstacles in your way with their bad energy. Okay, so that also is a message that's come through. Let's have a look at the future though. What does the future hold for this? Bear with me. Just had to let my cat out there. So let's have a look at the future energy here. Oh, lovely. Oracle of Pentacles. This is a really abundant card. The sweet honey. You know, after these both quite heavy energies here, Kashish, it is a relief to see this card because the Oracle of Pentacles is the sweet taste of honey. All that hard work paying off for you, Kashish, okay? So if we can do this, this is the advice always with this spread. The spirit is doing this, you need to play your part, and if we can all do that and get on board together and co-create this beautiful Oracle of Pentacles, which is you being able to move into that abundant dream, okay, that you have, all that hard work paying off as well, because it is Pentacles. So this is earth energy, which is about being consistent, which is about effort. You know, the worker bee that is, you know, incredibly hard worker, like how much work it takes to produce this amount of honey is like unheard of, you know. So I understand and I get that how much work it's going to take on your part to achieve that, but how sweet it will taste at the end when you arrive, when you have done it, when you achieve this, okay? And yeah, it will, I feel like it will really give you a very strong sense of self, a boost of confidence. Like if you can do this, it will open up. I know it's, you spoke, it means that you can go abroad, so it will open up a whole new life and new world for you. So that's a beautiful positive card to where it's going, where it's leading, yeah. And then we have this anomaly card, which is really wonderful. A white crow. How interesting. So this is, you know, we see a white crow here standing out in a sea of black crows, and the magic of that. And I feel like maybe it feels like, you know, that this scholarship, this is an anomaly for you, like a kind of a dream. And I feel like that this is saying, you know, it can happen. You are casting, you know, you are taking a risk in a way. You are going for it, going big or go home kind of energy, yeah. But this to me is very hopeful, and is to say, you know, miracles happen, dreams happen, and to always hold that kind of energy, not just in this situation, but in life really. And even something about you as well, Kashish, that maybe you are, how you possess this unique energy and are set apart in some ways from others. Maybe you feel different sometimes from others as well, but this is part of your uniqueness and beauty, and makes you stand out from the crowd in good ways. Sometimes it might feel like in bad ways, but ultimately your differences are beautiful and what make you unique and make your abilities unique as well. So this just feels like a recognition of you, and on this journey that you've decided to undertake, to that somehow that this is a part of that as well, your uniqueness, and to approach it in your way as well, and to continue to go for your dreams. So that's a beautiful energy to end on. I hope this reading resonated for you, Kashish. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. Please let me know in the comments how it resonated. And I look forward to reading again for you soon. Love and light. Hey Anne, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your beautiful detailed question. I really appreciate you take the time to go into it like you always do. So let's get into it and see what comes through today. So I know, like you said, in our last reading, we did have the Ten of Voices, which spoke about some kind of end of the cycle in this connection, it either coming to a close, the connection, or kind of how it has been coming to a close. But let's do a breakdown of what your question. So what kind of closure or completion is Spirit guiding me towards through this connection? So let's, oh, look at that flying out. This is more on that closure, I want to call it, rather than a kind of ending as such. And then what is the closure really about? Is it within you? Is it the bond? Or is it, oh, look at that. These cards are really, whoa, flying out. Too many, Spirit, too many. Let's try that again. So what is this really about? Look at this. Cards don't want to... Energy is all over the place, maybe. What emotional or spiritual lessons are being brought to light? And how can you best receive and integrate this with clarity? Okay, what emotional, spiritual lessons are being brought to light? And then I am pulling an oracle card. This for everyone, and this is the Urban Crow Oracle. So a final message, Spirit, please. On this. Okay, so first one. What kind of closure or completion is Spirit guiding you towards in this connection? What's the completion about? The Chariot. 2 horses in this deck, which represents yours and the other person in this connection's energy. Being able to finally move forward, okay, because the Chariot is all about forward momentum, forward movement. And can you see this is so symbolic in some ways about how there's different paths, we're at an impasse here at the minute. So maybe this comments and speaks on this connection energetically and kind of what's gone on. We are both sort of pulling in different directions here. One wants to go that way, one wants to go the other, and there's that tension, where we can't break apart, which is what we've seen before, particularly with their energy. It's like that they won't move forward, but they won't let go. So that creates this tension. But the Chariot is about finally getting that forward momentum, finally getting that instinctual pull, and following that and leaving behind the kind of thoughts of the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and the do's and like the do's and do nots kind of energy. And the Chariot is when our energy drops down lower within us and we have a knowing. So instead of an idea, it becomes a knowing of what we have to do. And then we are able to move forward. So what kind of closure and completion is Spirit guiding you towards in this connection? It's the closure of this push and pull. And I'm going to pull one more. look at that flying out there. Three of Swords, it's also the closure of the, so through this is the heartache and the pain ends. I suppose it's doubling down. Is it reiterating that message that we move out of this impasse? We move out of this push and pull. Maybe the next card will tell us more about, and so there will be an end of suffering. There is an end of pain, which was like that Ten of Swords, yeah. There was the end of the suffering. Because we can get on the same page. Either the same page being that we move forward together or we move forward separately. So what is this ending really about? This is where it comes to strength. The connection is still alive. The connection is still here. Another major arcana, strength card. Death, transformation. I mean, this strength card to me, there's a lot of happiness in this card, isn't there? The sun rising, or it's like a sunflower here. We have the sign, the infinity sign here as well. So it's like it's ongoing, this connection. The strength card is, can you see how there's no protective energy here? This is like a lion and its cub. So there is this dynamic in this connection. Someone is being cared for here. Someone is being loved here. The High Priestess, another major arcana. There's so much going on here. There's so many, like we have 4 major arcanas here. I still see this as your connection. So with the question being, what is the ending really about? That, I believe, is the end of the pain in this connection. I don't see it being the end of the connection though, because I still see you kind of at the center of this reading of there being this bond here. There is a very, I see it because it's strength, but I see it as the strength of your bond. Okay, and there's a lot of joy and warmth and happiness in this card. There is a togetherness. There is this union. Someone is taking care of someone in this connection as well. Take what resonates with that. The Death card is about the transformation. Again, doubling down on that kind of, this is the major arcana version really kind of the Ten of Swords, the ending of an era, the ending of this push and pull. And then we re-emerge. This connection can be reborn, is what I'm hearing. We just need to trust big time. This is so hard because we can't maybe see at this point, Anne, how this is going to happen. Maybe it's like that you feel very much in the dark in this. Maybe it feels, maybe even at kind of a total loss. But the High Priestess, I feel like this is you really. You've got a very strong intuition. You have a very strong spiritual connection. You are connected to the universe. You can lean into manifestation. You can go within. You've got a great deal of ability to reflect and look inside, and you know, you have that that insight, yeah, to reflect on a deep, deep level. And this is what's going to help carry you through. And don't focus on the how as well. Like, how are we going to move into this kind of energy maybe? How are we going to move forward? Don't focus on the how. Just focus on the, if you still obviously want this, focus on the relationship, how you would want it to be, the new era, okay? The end of the era, the rebirth. Focus on the rebirth. Then the final part, what emotional, spiritual lessons are being brought to light, okay? How can you best receive and integrate them with clarity, peace, and trust in what's unfolding? By deepening, first of all, by kind of digging deep into your high priestess energy, which is one of your superpowers. But let's see what else it says. The Five of Cups is, okay, so what emotional spiritual lessons is, this is interesting. The Five of Cups is about losses and disappointments, but not getting sunk by them, in a way, not letting the losses and the disappointment inform the outcome of this connection. I know that may even sound quite delusional or delulu, but this is what the message is, okay? Because in the traditional deck with the Five of Cups, it has the person is staring at 3 cups that are spilt over, which is the loss, the disappointment, what hasn't worked out. And what they're missing is, so they're looking at the cups of what's gone wrong, and what they're missing is the 2 cups that are still standing, that still have love and potential and opportunity filled with that, yeah, which is what still remains, what is still possible. And if they can turn around and look at that, it's often kind of like about a question of hope, I think, and a question, so the lessons being learned around here is about disappointment and losses. And not being sunk by loss and disappointments and setbacks, and seeing that as informing the future. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, this connection is powerful, Anne. Let me know if you feel that. Does it feel karmic? Does it feel like a past life connection? There's just so many big energies going on here. I don't know what the last update is between communication with you both. I know you were taking a step back last time that we spoke. But this isn't done with yet, because the energy is like high, okay? Isolation feels like more of that Five of Cups, that this is, oh, you know, it's difficult, it's been hard, this connection. There's probably been moments when you have felt very down about this. Maybe this was reflective of the sadness and the heartbreak that you have felt, and that the other person, I think, has felt as well, because that came up last time about the sadness that they were now tapping into, okay? The loss and the disappointment. And it feels very unnecessary for some reason. There's something, you know, that this person has kind of caused the kind of pain and the loss and the disappointment for themselves and for you. But despite these kind of energies, there is still more to this story. So lean into your High Priestess energy. Understand that this transformation, death energy is coming. There is a rebirth. With this Chariot card as well, forward movement, forward motion, moving out of stagnation. And this bond at the center of it all still remains with this infinity side. So I hope this resonated for you, Anne. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. Let me know in the comments. what jumped out to you, what spoke to you the most. But I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hello, Kuntry, my love. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. So I know that you are looking at today, want to know from Spirit some advice and guidance around reaching your potential, yeah? And that there's some struggles here around that knowing that you have the talent and the knowledge, but like a lot of us do, okay, like trying to make yourself smaller and shrinking, dimming that light in a way, yeah? Through fear of being judged. And what does Spirit want you to know about this, okay? How to fix it, how to overcome it. So let's take a look into this. So let's kind of get an overview of what's going on, why this is happening maybe. I know you said you're not quite sure why you're like this. So let's see what Spirit says on this. A lot of it can come from way back in the past, you know, can start in childhood. But also as adults that continued, were often silenced in many situations. So let's have a look though, what just specifically for you, Kuntry, about this shrinking. Because it's frustrating when you know that you have an inner confidence, really, knowing that you've got the talent and the knowledge, but not being able to push it out there. So let's ask, how do we do that, okay? How do you kind of get it out there? What's it about? How do we get it out there? And tell us a bit about the future of this energy. I always like to peek into what the future brings. And then I'm using oracle cards as well. So I'm using the Urban Crow deck today. So for a final message on Spirit for this, a bonus card from the Urban Crow, please, about Kuntry and her potential. So what's going on? Seven of Swords, interesting. Trickster energy. Few messages here. Seven of Swords is, okay, we have a wily fox here, okay? The wily fox knows their enemies, okay, as well, and is clever about maneuvering themselves in situations and survival. So what first comes through, which this is just purely channeling, is kind of like know thy enemy, yeah, that message. Not everyone is your friend, okay? And most people, as sad as this is, okay, well, not most, but I say many, do not want us to shine our light and be bright, and will not acknowledge our talents and our gifts and knowledge, yeah? Most people feel intimidated by this, and feel like in many ways that your light is taken away from them, which is absolute BS, because we, you know, someone else's success doesn't take away from ours. There's a huge misconception, you know, there is enough pie for everyone. And in a way I always see it as that actually it is a sign if someone else is succeeding and doing great and shining bright, that gives me hope. The best way to look at this, even though it can be triggering, it can be painful and hurt if we're not feeling like we're shining, but actually what it says to us is that it's possible to shine bright, and it's great to have that energy out in the world. So there are people maybe around you, Kuntry, who maybe you know, or maybe you're not fully aware, that in their comments and in their trickster behavior, that they are triggered by you, and that you can be picking up on this kind of energy as well. And maybe that's why you, because you said, I'm not quite sure why you want to make yourself smaller and fit into rooms. It can be that you're picking up on some kind of threat that is real. It's not within you. It's just that it doesn't feel safe to shine. Okay, now I suppose the goal is being able to shine bright nonetheless, but without kidding ourselves that everyone's supporting us. Okay, it's like that it takes a lot of resilience to shine bright and kind of take the heat off people who are trying to dim your light but continue to shine anyway. So there's something here that's happening with that you're picking up on something, I think, around from others, which is you're kind of triggering them. When you do shine bright, or you are confident with in what you do and how you show up, people are actively trying to dim your light and knock corners off your confidence. There was this quote that I saw recently. Someone said, you know, once you stop being a people pleaser, people aren't pleased. Like, people don't like it, okay, if you really show up strong, confident, shining your light. Others are kind of like you do draw people in, but a lot of people, it puts their nose out of joint, okay? And once you know your worth as well, which I think that you do know your worth actually inside, when you say, like, you know, you've got talent and knowledge, but once you really know your worth and really step into your power, yeah, you are going to get kicked back. People will try to tear you down. So get clear about that, know that, and do it nonetheless, okay? So I suppose that kind of informs this next question of what you can, but it will tell us more about what you can do about this. But this is saying that, yeah, people are trying to dim your light, so that's why you're feeling that it's not something maybe inside yourself that you have to fix. It's just something that has to be acknowledged about what's going on and what you're picking up on. Tell me more, Spirit. Elder of Pentacles. Very abundant energy here, a very grounded energy. There's like a this is earth energy, yeah, with pentacles, and it's funny here, there's kind of like it's a toad or a frog here represented in this card, this deck, and these mushrooms, and it feels very earthed, it feels very grounded. And there's a stubbornness in this card which I really like, and I'm really drawn to, of like, it's been like very grounded in your light and your potential and your self-worth. This kind of toad here is just like, yeah, this is me, I'm here, this is all my talents, you know, I'm very comfortable and confident in this, and if you don't like it, then you can just do one, basically, okay? They're just like front and center here with their worth, pentacles being kind of around career, money, success, but also about kind of, if you think of money being worth, here I'm interpreting it as self-worth. And so this is what you need to do, this is how you need to handle it, Kuntry, is be very solid in how you present yourself to others and how you show up in going into a room and filling that room And if your energy fills that room, then so be it. Be front and center and sit with it. Takes practice, yeah, it will take practice. Do it in small doses if you have to. Show up and just be front and center and just do it, and like take the heat and take the vibes, and hold that energy and that frequency and see what happens. You will feel better about yourself, you'll get better at it, you will get more comfortable, and it will become natural and second nature. Then we look to the future. So that's how you need to handle it, okay? That's how you need to handle these tricksters, okay? This trickster energy. 5 of Wands. It may even bring some conflict. 5 of Wands is about conflict. We see a tug of war here. People wrestling for the limelight, maybe wrestling for some tug of war here into who's going to fill the room, some ego here, yeah? But the 5 of Wands is the promise. So again, kind of accepting that kickback and getting comfortable with the conflict. That's another thing, you know, if you are someone who maybe is avoidant of conflict. Most people are in a way, like hate conflict. Getting a bit more comfortable with that, like a few awkward moments, and the tension of people sort of jostling for trying to dim your light, yeah. Stand steady, stay front and center. It's almost like you're not expecting things to be. There is this misconception in modern times in some ways that if you are yourself, you know, if you show up as yourself, that you will be welcomed with love and open arms by the world. And I have found that to be the opposite, that people find that extremely challenging. And that's what they kind of forget to tell you, that when you become really authentic, it can cause a lot of conflict, yeah. A lot of people won't like it. A lot of people love you for it, but a lot of people won't like it. Now, with the 5 of Wands, though, as well, I feel like it won't cause... It's not like long-lasting drama or conflict. It's kind of like storm in a teacup. It will blow over. So ride these conflicts out. They'll go as quickly as they started, okay? It's kind of like like a wave. It just rises and then it goes back under. So it will pass. So take kind of peace in that, in these conflicts. Know that there isn't any real damage being caused. This is just part of being authentic. It will pass as quickly as it started, okay? Because it's not about rubbing it in people's faces. It's just about being grounded in your own energy when we're being authentic. So ultimately those toxic people will get washed away into their next drama, yeah. They'll just move on if you're not reactive to it, if that makes sense. Final messages. Preparation. So maybe this is about preparing for those kickbacks. You're already experiencing them anyway, Kuntry. When you feel instinctually to make yourself smaller, you're already feeling that energy. So prepare yourself before. Kind of know that if you're going into a meeting at work, or if you're going into a social situation, wherever next, when you feel like you're going into a situation where you kind of want to show up as your authentic self and not dim your light, prepare for that and intentionally know that that's what you're doing, and prepare for maybe some kickback so that you're not blindsided, and prepare by being this elder. Know that how you're going to handle it is by being an elder of pentacles energy. So if you get any conflict, you just stand steady, be cool, be elder of pentacles, remain front and center, don't back down, and see where this takes you. I'm excited, Kuntry, to see where this goes. I hope this resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which bits jumped out to you, how this resonated for you, and keep me posted as well where this journey takes you, okay? Love and light. I'll catch up with you soon. Hey Devaya, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So I know that you were asking today of how should you handle the situation with Jeffrey. I know that you're saying he said he would give you some work, but he's gone silent about it. So let's look into this, okay? Is it worth pursuing? What's going on? What's the energy surrounding this, okay? So the first card I will pull is what's going on in this situation as get an overview. What's the energy surrounding Jeffrey? So let's get a closer look on their energy. And then, is this something worth pursuing? I'm also pulling everyone an oracle card. This is the Urban Crow Oracle deck. So this is the bonus card on this situation. Advice, please, Spirit. Ooh, jumping. Cards are jumping. So first card, general overview. What's happening? What's going on? Champion of Swords. Champion of Swords is... it can be quite a harsh energy. That's what I feel is coming through today. Champion of Swords is about, I mean, the main energy of Swords is about communication. Communication is obviously strained right now, okay? They've gone silent about it. First up, few messages here. So first up, is it possible for you to be more direct about challenging this situation, about challenging Jeffrey? Not in like an aggressive way, obviously, but just in a direct, kind of upfront, honest way. Maybe you've tried that and it hasn't worked. So, but at least to know that you've tried that, and in order to get some clarity, okay? I'm just going to pull what's going on for him to get more of a picture. Four of Pentacles, interestingly. So they are in a very stuck energy right now with the Four of Pentacles, okay? There's something around money and their stability and work that is why this has gone quiet, okay? They're not in an abundant... maybe they've got worried about resources, maybe they've had financial setbacks, and what's happening is that they've kind of holding on tight to the security that they do have. So they're not in a place, they're not in a position maybe to offer more work, to open to that kind of expansive energy, yeah, of new people coming in, giving you a job. So obviously financially supporting that, if that makes sense. You know, it's like they're not in a position at the minute to be able to do that, or even if they are, they don't feel like they are. There may be someone who is quite hesitant about taking a risk. There's something going on here anyway where it's like they hold on tight to what they want. They may even be quite, if they are financially abundant, they certainly don't feel it. They can be what we describe here in the UK as someone who is cheap, or someone who is tight with their money, yeah, that they're in a kind of poverty consciousness mindset. So they're not in an expansive place. And they are not making this clear to you. because of this Champion of Swords energy here being the kind of block. The issue is that someone isn't being honest, which is Jeffrey, isn't being honest, isn't being forthcoming. Maybe there is some shame if they, around this situation, if they're not doing so great financially, or it could just be that they're not being upfront about their thoughts and feelings around this. It's not personal to you, it's about their own security. And then let's have a look at the final messages. Is it worth pursuing was the question. Judgment, you need to be discerning here. You need to, judgment is making a judgment call. I kind of feel like that this is potentially at the minute, like it's on hold. All you can do is, if you haven't reached out and been direct and had a clear stab at communicating to him, do that. But if you have and you haven't got anything back, then we need to make a judgment call here, okay? And there is this kind of waiting energy of this this big cat here who is looking very hopeful. And what I would do is, I feel like you need to make a judgment call on this for now. Park it. You know, if Jeffrey comes back and offers you a position, you know, maybe we could take a look at that. If that has potential, it may be worth pursuing. I feel like in the meantime, for now, we need to park it. We need to put it on pause and hold and stop waiting. And pursue other opportunities that will shift the energy for you. It feels stagnant. It feels like it needs to be, at the minute, this hoping and waiting energy doesn't feel good. So we do need to make a judgment call on that and step away from this. We do have this hopeful butterfly, which represents change. Okay, Devaya, so change is on its way. Change is going to happen. It might be with this, it might not be, but switch up the energy, shake things up, shift out of this waiting and longing, and pursue other opportunities. However you can, whatever you do, search opportunities, kind of almost let go of it for now. Like, we don't have to give up on it. There's a difference between giving up and letting go. But the energy around it doesn't feel helpful for you, doesn't feel great to me. It's keeping you stuck, yeah? Freedom. And then we have this beautiful card, freedom. Expansion. Again, stepping away from this in order to look at the bigger picture. Maybe we've got hooked into that this opportunity was promised to me, or it has to happen, or we're waiting. We need to kind of, it doesn't mean that it's not coming back around, but we need to stop focusing on it. And we need to look at other opportunities and possibilities for now, okay? This butterfly of change, the freedom of change, it is coming for you, Devaya. But let's not keep giving our energy to this situation, I believe. So I hope that resonated for you, Devaya. I hope it brought you some clarity. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. Let me know in the comments what jumped out to you, how this resonated, and I will catch up with you soon. Love and light. Hey Nat, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So let's get into it. I know that you want to look at guidance for June. So I'm going to do a spread that I've been doing for lots of people today, which is what you need to focus on in June. The next card is what the universe is bringing towards you. So kind of what efforts the universe is doing on your behalf. The idea of co-creation, you play your part, the universe plays their part, and then we look at the future energies of what that in turn will bring. So for you in June, looking at those energies, okay? So Spirit, please tell us what Nat needs to focus on in June. What is the universe doing on your behalf? In June. Oh, going to take that one. And where is this leading? So if we can, we're all doing our parts, playing our parts, where will this lead? By the end of June, where will Nat find herself? And then I'm also pulling some oracle cards for everyone again today. Today I'm using the Urban Crow oracle, which I love. Let's get into it. So, what do you need to do, Nat, in June? Four of Wands. Nice energy, gentle energy, stable. But also a card of reaching a significant milestone. Is the Four of Wands, because it's a card of celebration. Sometimes we can get so focused on where we're going that we forget how far that we've come. Okay, so what is your particular goal and focus on at the moment? What are you working on? And what the Four of Wands brings is a kind of mark in the sand of being on your way. So if we think of the Ten of Wands maybe being like the completion of the achievement, but we're at the Four where we've already reached this really significant place. Four being like the solid foundation that you've laid for this goal, for this dream. We have all these beautiful, like this whole energy, this whole card is filled with like beautiful pink blossoms. So what is that? What does that represent to you, Nat? What does your intuition tell you when you see that, of how this is resonating? It may be a relationship, it may be career, whatever it is that your passion and your heart is working towards. And then this house is like this, representing this stability, this achievement. Okay, so at some point in June, or this is where what our focus needs to be on, is keep driving towards that, because Wands is fire energy as well, so it's about taking action. It's about kicking up the dust. It's about that period in a situation where we're getting a fire started. Okay, that's what Wands energy is. Pentacles energy, the earth energy, is when we've got the fire started and we just need to keep it alive. Okay, we just need to stoke the fire, we just need to keep adding the wood, we need to just be consistent and keep showing up. The Four of Wands is when, or Wands energy is when we're still getting the party started in a way. Okay, so there's something about that. So keep here, because it's a garden as well, so it feels like keep planting the seeds, keep putting your energy out there. If it was a relationship, say, keep putting yourself in those social situations, join those groups, you know, join those art classes, you know, do online dating, whatever it is, however you're pursuing the goal. Or if it was career, then whatever that involves, you know, it's a kind of hustling energy almost. But in June there is also that energy of kind of reaching a certain, of making progress. Yeah, what is the universe doing for you in June? The Nine of Swords, they're working on your anxieties and fears and promising you that they are unfounded. We see this tiger here who is, to me, they look like they're kind of yawning and releasing some tension and stress. Nine of Swords is about, and I know that you're a Virgo, Nat, and how often our overthinking and anxiety can get the best of us. Okay, from one Virgo to the other, we never stop thinking, okay, and overthinking. It's kind of exhausting, and the universe is doing what they can to help you with that, really, and to remind you that these fears are unfounded, to trust the process more, to get out of your head when you can, what things work to get you out of your head, nat. Is it exercise? Is it meditation? Is it going for a nature and walk in going for a walk in nature? Is it confiding in loved ones who are trusted? Yeah. But maybe the universe as well will send you some gifts and messages to look out for, I think, signs to help you with those fears and anxieties, to tell you also that you're on the right track. So they're not just, this isn't again like for you to just look after on your own. Maybe give those anxieties and fears to the universe, you know, when you get in that place. If you can, give it to God, hand them over to the universe. Literally, you can say out loud, say, I'll just give this to you, God. This, I know that I can trust in you to handle this. I'm not going to hold on to this worry anymore. I'm going to let you handle it. I'm very big into this current affirmation at the moment, which is asking the universe, show me how easy it can be. Because we always think sometimes our big dreams and our big milestones, it has to be difficult, it has to be a struggle. Show me how easy it can be, universe. Show me how easy it can be. So what's the future if we can do all this? Ooh, the Apprentice of Wands. More wands, passion. This is someone, okay? This is an Apprentice of Wands. This is someone coming into your... I do feel like this can be about, tell you what resonates, but it does feel like this could be about a love connection, just because of all these pink blossoms I keep seeing, keep being drawn back to. But tell you what resonates with what this goal is, okay? Nonetheless, this Apprentice of Wands is someone who is coming into your energy field, who is going to be part of your journey in some way, part of this goal, part of this. This is where we'll find ourselves at the end of June, a meeting with someone with this Apprentice of Wands. Could be a fire sign, but they have that Wands energy again of kind of someone who is action orientated, making things happen, someone who almost flies in the face of this, is not an overthinker. They kind of are the opposite of that, and I think that will help you with your overthinking and worries. And someone, they just tend to go for it, worry about it later, maybe probably don't even worry about it later. They're just someone who is has a quite an easygoing energy, very vibrant. Look at all these beautiful vibrant colors, energy, excitement. Interestingly though, it's kind of like a snail energy here, so if that kind of flies in the face of Wands, which is fast moving, I feel like maybe this tells me that they're chilled, that they make moves when they need to, they're not a stress head. Fun to be around, okay? Breath of fresh air, someone who helps you get out of your head. Ooh, and then we have Wrath. Interesting. Wrath is a great motivator. Is there some frustrations with someone? This feels like this is like almost like a completely separate energy. I don't know if this is from the past, or this is something in June that might come up, someone from your past, where there's history here with this Wrath card, okay? Anger, resentment, heavier energy here. So a situation that caused you a lot of pain, yeah, caused you a lot of anger as well. Don't know if this is the past relationship situation that you were dealing with for a long time, maybe, or something that happened in whatever kind of, something got in the way, blocked you about achieving this dream in the past, whatever that goal is, that dream is, yeah. So this is something just to contend with, maybe a bit of a warning shot that this may come up, because we're making progress, because we're making movement, and because we're maybe making new connections. Then there could be some wrath and anger from others, from around you, that might, you know, you might rattle a few cages, or maybe your own. And because of this, or maybe someone kind of triggers you and some old anger and resentment comes up. To remember though, wrath, wherever it comes from, I like to see it as a great motivator for change and a reminder as to why we're going for these goals and these achievements, why we're pushing on for change, why we try to better ourselves if someone breaks our heart, why we continue to pursue love, and that can be the best revenge. So Nat, I hope that resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how it resonated for you. I'm interested to see who this Apprentice of Wands is by the end of June. Keep us posted. But I will catch up with you soon. Love and light.